Has this been your face as of late? Because it's been mine. How are you doing out there? Happy new moon eclipse in Aries, conjunct Chiron. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, fun's a strong word. With some sage. I tried to record this video once, and about a half hour in, I was like, honestly, I was just like chit-chatting with you. And I know that I've been thinking about doing live Q&As, stuff like that. And so I know this chair is like a pillow. It's just like a cloud. It's so lovely. And so I've been thinking about doing that. But that was not the intention for this video. So I'm gonna pull this in closer. This is your chair over here, my love. I'm gonna push it to the side for you. And so today I'm gonna try to stay on topic. We're talking about the new moon eclipse in Aries at 19 degrees conjunct Chiron. So please go grab your things. Right now I am on day 3. It's the 26th of March as I record this, and the 23rd was my birthday. And as I've told you before, I do not eat gluten or sugar on a regular basis, but on my birthday or for very special occasions, and because I know that this is my last human life and I don't have as absurd of an allergy and as difficult of an allergy that it's going to knock me out. So I'm like, yeah, choose violence, girl, choose violence. So it's day 3, and I feel like I've gone through like the most incredible detox in my life. Like this one was, if you saw me yesterday, like my spots flare up and I'm like, okay. My eyes were itchy, everything. It was irritable. Granted, it was the eclipse, the Libra full moon eclipse yesterday. And so I'm having my mango to placate myself. And, I'm going gently on the coffee. I have 2 bottles, or I have my bottle of warm water, and then I have my warm water right over here as well. Y'all, she's still going. So let's check in. How are you feeling? Maybe you might be feeling irritable. You might be feeling frustrated, a little bit like this, a little bit emotional, a little ridiculously emotional, a little very emotional, a little confused, a little matrix glitchy. Your dreams might be popping off. You might be having some like low back troubles, but not like hip low back, but maybe like kidney area low back, ringing in the ears, headaches, time glitches. What do you mean by time glitches? Like you drive to the grocery store and you're in the grocery store and you're like, how did I get to the grocery store? And then you get home and you're cooking lunch and you're like, how did I get home? What's going on here? You see things and then all of a sudden they're not there anymore. Little ridiculous things are kind of happening all at the same time. You recognize that maybe the content that you've been looking at and watching for ages really doesn't resonate anymore, and you're frustrated by it, as if you can get very easily, easily triggered. And we're going to talk about the word trigger as well, because that's something that I want us to find a little bit of gratitude for our triggers and recognize that the person that's triggering us, whether they be conscious or unconscious within their triggers, is actually a gift from God. It's actually a gift from the universe. And if you're new to the table here, I use the term God brazenly, so I don't want that to be triggering for you, but definitely look at that. And if it is triggering for you, just insert the word universe or whatever it is that you have labeled the air that you breathe all the way to the farthest star in the sky. So with that being said, I would love to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Sarah. I am a channel. I channel messages for the collective directly from source energy, and I utilize my foundation of a growth mindset and leadership growth and development, and integrate these metaphysical practices into your already busy life. If you're here at my table, you are a leader within your own world, whatever that means for you. It doesn't matter what title you wear. You're the type of person that will go first and will lead the group, and that will be the inspiring person and be the one that kind of handles all the emotional bondance of the group that you're in, and people look to you for guidance wherever you are in the world. It's kind of like you could go into the grocery store wearing your sweatpants after the gym, and people are like, hey, do you know where the bread is? And you're like, I don't work here, but yes, I will bring you to the bread, and we'll talk about whatever you're going through as we get there. So welcome to the table. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you. So, and to my patrons, I literally wake up and express gratitude for every single one of you more often than not. In my first 3 gratitudes is my community. I couldn't describe to you how grateful I am. I couldn't possibly describe to you how excited I am to offer different things to you. And I couldn't describe to you how much of a privilege it is to be the one that gets to bring this group of very, very empowered and emotionally intelligent people together. It's an absolute honor. So I just have to express gratitude for every single one of you. And if you're watching this on YouTube the day of or after the eclipse, just know that this is available about a week and some change in advance in my Patreon group, and the link for that is below. We do so much. It's all sides readings. I channel my guides in a very, very specific way, and we offer a big tarot reading if that's your language as well. I'm going to go over the minor arcana card that represents this decan of the astrological wheel, since every minor arcana card represents a certain area of the astrology wheel. So whatever lens you utilize in your metaphysical practice, just know that that group is a very accessible price point, and I have a 7-day free trial for it. So it's definitely worth your time and energy if all of this information is something that resonates with you. My higher self and my guides have been telling me that this video, this time period, and these messages are so necessary for a lot of my corporate leaders, my corporate people, the people that still have their foot in the matrix. And, I myself also have a foot in the matrix as well. My human story, I was training teams and was a leader and, helping run different things. I was in corporate, but I was training people and teams for over 10 years. So it is my absolute honor and privilege to be here with you. I still have my foot in the service door, and it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be there in that capacity. I love my fancy restaurant that I work at. But if you are, a spiritual person and you've been doing this work for a while, you know what eclipses are, you understand what's going on right now, and you have probably seen very, very gentle information all the way over to the spectrum of a lot of not fear-based information, but information that talks about, whether it be like the 3 days of darkness or anarchy in the, southern border of the United States, whatever that may be. And, for people that watch mainstream news or might be new to this realm, in your heart, in your soul, in your gut, in your dreams, that it's all going to be okay. You know that what's happening is for our greater good and development. But I want you to look at it like a micro, that you are the micro of the out there. It's the theory of the egg. And a dear friend of mine had sent me this really beautiful cartoon. I'm going to put the link for that below, of a reading of the egg with beautiful imagery. So if you've never heard the egg theory before, I'm just going to put the link below. It's just a few minutes long. It's worth your time. But I'm just reading my notes, and my handwriting is not always accessible. So a whole new world. I literally can't even read it. The outer world is... It's happening to match the inner work that you're doing. So the breaking down of the outer world, that's... I'll show you. That is what I was reading. Yeah. So the outer world and the breaking down of the structures and the policies and procedures and the out there is a direct representation of the inner work that you have been doing, and that us as a collective consciousness, as souls, we know that we are consciousness running these human avatars, and that we're basically God having a human experience. And that's why the theory of the egg makes sense, because it's kind of a mind fart, but it's really like you're the only one here. So when you're nice to someone, you're nice to yourself. When you're mean to someone, you're mean to yourself. When you just judge someone, you're judging another version of yourself. So definitely go watch that egg video if you've not heard it before. It's so much fun and beautiful and accessible. So when we see things happening in the outer that are scary, that are difficult, that are fear-based or fear-inducing, I want you to look inside yourself and say, wow, I've been doing all of this deep inner work. What does that inner work produce? It produces a more courageous person, a more sovereign person, a more emotionally intelligent person that can handle bigger, I don't want to say issues, but can lift more weight. It's kind of, I'll use exercise. And so when you are, doing the same exercise over and over, we'll just call it like deadlifting, and you deadlift every single day. And then the next day, you can add more weight to it. So you're stronger and you can handle more excitement, more weight, but you're doing the exact same movement pattern. Does that make sense? You are learning a new language. You're still speaking words, but you're just speaking bigger words. You're speaking more eloquently. You're conjugating things in an easier way. You're able to articulate things in a better way. So what's happening out there is happening on purpose. Whatever your belief system is, it does not matter. If you're a leader here, we're not going to talk about that. I just want you to look inward and look in the mirror and say, wow, I have changed so much. I've become such a strong, empowered version of myself with emotional maturity and intelligence. I let my inner child play when they need to. I tame my inner adolescent. I focus on my future vision for myself. I meditate, I ground, I express gratitude every day. I really work on developing a new rewiring my brain and programming new unconscious and subconscious behaviors and thoughts, patterns, and belief systems. When that happens to enough people, the outer environment will change. So I love that this is happening, and I love that so many different things, it's kind of like the original thought that I had either for this video or for the April video, kind of like the parable that came to me. It's a little gross, but it's okay. Like, when you have like a pimple somewhere, but it's like a hard pimple, and it could be an ingrown hair, but like you try to deep dive into it and it won't go anywhere. You try every day and nothing will happen. You should just kind of accept it, and you just like let it be. And you're like, is it a wart? Is it something? Is it going to be there forever? And you're like, no, it's, it's got to just like go through it. And then after like a while, all of a sudden one day it turns into like this really beautiful little white head that just pops, and so much comes out, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It wasn't painful, wasn't anything, but you were nervous about it for so long. You put so much energy and effort into this pimple, and then after it happened, you're like, oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. It was kind of gross, and it was really intense, and it like shot out more than I thought it was going to, but I could handle it. So that's kind of a little like slightly disassociated parable for the realities of what's going on in the world. And I live with the United States, and so for a lot of people that we know that we had the Pluto return a few years ago, and we know that we're living through kind of the fall of an empire in real time with technology, and we can kind of keep up with it in our own way. And there's just information all over the place, and you can't really lie anymore because you've got millions of people that will check your facts and be like, nope, that's not real. Nope, this is actually happening. Nope. And we have a wild mental health crisis and division all over the place, and we're just like, yeah, but did you see that video of the puppy? And he was taking a bath, and it was just like this ASMR, like deliciousness. And I just watched it 4 times. Yeah, you need an ever so slight level of disassociation right now if you're going to engage within like scrolling and stuff. So, all right, all that. I think that's a nice introductory video. So please go grab your journals. Did we do the pause? Did I do the pause? I don't even remember. Go pause this video. We're going to use the aquamarine. We might have. I don't know. I recorded the video twice, so I'm going to use the aquamarine, hopefully. We're in an eclipse portal. I'm doing my best. So go pause the video with the aquamarine. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. Okie dokie, I'm going to give you the dates since we have our journals right here. And then we're going to get into the astrology, tarot, all the fun things. So this is happening Eastern Standard Time on the 8th of April at 14:20. It's happening the Gold Coast of Australia on the 9th of April at 4:20. And Central Standard Time at 13:20 on the 8th of April. And so we're going to talk about this in lenses. I'm just going to talk about the astrology. I'm going to push this over so you can kind of Can't see it. I moved the camera so many times. Can you see it over there? I think so. I think that's good. I think that's good. So, the astrology. Well, let's look at it in lenses. I'm going to talk first about the new moon, the astrology of it, and then get to the lens of the eclipse and what that means. So, new moon, the lens, because I wear these big old glasses. So when the sun and the moon are conjunct together in the sky. And so it's usually the darkest night, dark side of the moon, where it's a perfect little fertile ground to plant seeds for manifestations. Usually, if it was an eclipse, I would say, let's manifest. Let's, put some things in our manifestation journal. And we'll ask the universe for what it is that we want and really focus on those things and, daydream into it as if you already have it. I would say yes, let's still utilize that, and we'll get into it in the all signs readings. We'll talk about what each, sun, moon, and rising sign can expect from these energies, and just look at what area of the house, your wheel that it's falling in and stuff like that. But for this one, like I had said numerous times, we hand the reins over to the God of our understanding for eclipse season. And if our soul has gone off course, that's when the eclipses push us back on track. If we've been in our lane and doing our work and on course, that's when the universe really brings things together, creates situations that, gets us to step into that next level of our sovereignty, step up on stage in the area where we're really supposed to be standing, brings, aligned people together. This is the Aries and the Libra axis. So it's the I am, I balance, or we are. So it's a lot to do with ourselves in relationships. I have so many different resources for you about relationships. I so many people, if not every single person in my immediate circle, every single one of my clients, everyone is going through relationships drastically changing, navigating friendship changes, navigating, relationships that, they're taking from, VIP, maybe going to acquaintance or people that they can't even pick up the phone for, setting boundaries with so many people, jobs changing, jobs getting more frustrating or less frustrating, or, side hustles coming to be that are super duper aligned. So you are in no way alone. In no way alone. And it's kind of difficult to express to people sometimes because it doesn't make sense in human egoic ways. It's very energetic. Whereas maybe you've been following someone for so long. So long. Happens to me, a tarot reader that I really appreciated and respected, and I've been following her since 2019. All of a sudden, I was it was nails on a chalkboard. I couldn't listen anymore. And every single time I was getting more frustrated. And I was no, I'll watch again. No, I'll watch again. No, I'll watch again. And it's Sarah, I'm an Aries sun conjunct Jupiter in the 5th house. So I'm just a very, very exceptionally excitable infant baby ram that thinks that she's, a golden retriever. And I will just run straight into concrete over and over until I'm you're bleeding from the ears and very, very frustrated, and it's taking you time to come down from a YouTube video. So maybe just don't watch it anymore, maybe unsubscribe. And so that's okie dokie. If my content becomes too anxiety producing or too much or too frustrating, then just unsubscribe and don't watch. That's okay. I respect you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. But when I'm not meant for you anymore, that's okay. I love you for what we had, and I love you to go on and to find the YouTuber, the Patreon creator, whomever that does resonate with you. It's okay. It's so okay right now. That's totally fine. So let's go back to astrology. Sun and the moon conjunct together in the same point in the sky at 19 degrees and 23 minutes of Aries. Chiron is at 19 degrees and 24 minutes of Aries. So they're conjunct all together, same point in the sky. We could take every other planet down and just talk about that, truly. So what do we know about Chiron? The wounded healer, the wounded warrior. He was the centaur. He just basically, and I do your very own research on Chiron and listen to what resonates with you. He's a centaur, but a docile centaur, born to wild beasts that were more aggressive, and he wanted to teach and to help and to guide. He was the teacher of Achilles and Hercules. Just was in pain. I'll butcher it. I've told the story before, but I don't want to butcher it again. I don't want to give you too much. I want to give this, take your notes and then take this and go off and do your very own research. Like I said, I work with leaders, I work with very empowered people. If you do some research and you have a question, absolutely comment that below and let me know what you're going through and how I can best guide. And like I've always said, like, please timestamp my video and say, Sarah, I would love for you to do a deep dive into Chiron. Please, absolutely do that. And that's something that I would be absolutely love to do, but help me offer the best guidance for you and let me know what you're most intrigued by and most interested in. So that is part of the biggest, this is why, that's the why as to why it's bigger than anything. Because the Chiron in your birth chart is like this little wince. It's like, oh, that's painful. Oh, that's, for some reason, that's a wound. That's a wound. It's a little, and I don't want to say like a past life, something or other. That's usually like where the South Node is in your chart. And because the relationships are drastically changing video, it's in the toolbox in my public YouTube. And I don't know if I put it in the Patreon toolbox, but it's definitely for free on the public one. So definitely worth your time and energy. That talks a lot about the nodes and the relationships and stuff like that. But do I have a North Node in Aries video? I think I do. I'm going to see if I can find it. I think I did. I really think I did. Honestly, I might put together a public playlist with all like the longer transit videos just so we like know what's going on right there. But I really think that I did. So I'll put that link below. But the North Node is our collective destiny. It's the head of the dragon, what we're going towards. So on a personal level, the North Node in your birth chart, more so than the midheaven or your natal sun, S-U-N, is where you're going, what you're supposed to do. And the South Node, complete opposite, is where you probably feel cozy, and what you've done before, and those repeated patterns, but you just can't do it anymore. And so within the general wheel right now, North Node in Aries, going into the I am statement. It's the age of entrepreneurs. It's the, coming into your own as the amount of people that I know that are homeschooling, that are getting excited to homeschool, the amount of people that are just saying like, I want to buy land and, grow my own food and kind of escape that Libra unbalanced lies. The negative side of Libra is lying. And, to speak to one of my very, very dear subscribers on the public YouTube channel, and he spoke so eloquently where like an evolved Libra is some of the most creative people in the whole wide world. So it could be, and this is just coming to me now, that if you feel like you're an artist right now, make art. I don't care what it is, but be artistic, do those types of things and sing and dance and play and find any sort of finger paint. I don't care what it is. Just make art right now. And let go of the ego or the, parental issues that says, you're not an artist, go to school and become an accountant. And you're just like, the whole system's crumbling. I just want to make art. Go make art. Go make art. Please, please, please. So North Node, what we're going into, Aries. South Node, what we're releasing, inappropriate, unbalanced scales, lying, deceit, all those things. We're in an 8-year, and you can, like I had said in the Libra eclipse video, I think, yeah, you could smell a liar from across the room, truly, and it's so okay. So just be sovereign. If you do not have the answer, or if you do not know, don't lie. Just say, hey, I don't know the answer to that question. Let me go find out. I'll take this little box that I keep in my back pocket that has infinite information across time and space, and I'll just learn it, and then we can regurgitate it and do better. So the Sun and the Moon conjunct Chiron. The positive side of it is we're about to be slingshot into our future, into the world that we know that we're meant to be standing in. And definitely go watch my April introductory video, Being a Pioneer. I want to really transmute the fear into courage and do it anyways. And make sure that you have balanced scales, the proper people, Libra, the we are, or I balance, having the key players in your life, And it's so important to understand yourself and understand you in relationships, because your abundances cannot find you if you do not have the healthy people around you that are meant to be a part of your successful future. What do you mean by that, Sarah? If we are the amalgamation of the 5 closest people to us, it's that famous quote, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. We become the people that we spend our time with. If you are the biggest leader in the group, it's kind of like the big fish in the small pond, you can't grow. You have the same conversations. You have the same mentalities as these people. For Libra, if you're buying lunch for everybody, look at that, please, my God. It's growing is not always easy, but it's kind of, I don't want us to get stuck in the mentality of you've graduated from high school and you're, off in the world, but you go back and you visit high school every once in a while. You walk down the halls and you go visit your teachers and you're like, oh, hey, what's up? What's going on? It's like at some point you got to move on. At some point you just have to move on. I had a teacher, I'll never forget it because it really affected me. It was like senior year, like probably one of the last days of school. And I had emancipated myself. I had worn my slippers and brought my dog to school every single day. This was back in 2005. And it was just like, it was a blessing that I got out of there. And this one teacher just said, bye, have a nice life, never see you again. And I was just like, what? I will of course see you again. What are you talking about? Like, oh my God, how can you be so blunt and just so like deadened inside? I was like, I'll see you again. She's like, nope, I'll never see you again. Bye. Have a great life. It's nice to know you. Never saw her again. Never saw her again. And it was so empowering to look back and just to be like, I was so triggered by that. But it's okay to move on. It's okay to have experiences that are different than the people around you. That's why if those top 5 people that are in your life, the amalgamation of the 5 closest people to you, if you have a YouTuber, if you have a Bob Proctor, if you have an astrologer or someone else that's one of those 5 people and you are listening to their content over and over and over again and rewiring your brain in that capacity, that's okie dokie. There's literally a time where like God represented 3 different people at that table and I just vibed by myself and I learned and I educated myself as much as I possibly could and I became the most authentic version of myself without the amalgamation of the people around me that had absolutely no idea how to create something that they've never created before, nor were they interested in doing that. They didn't want to do the inner work. They didn't want to look at their shadow. They didn't want to say, oh my God, I just got triggered. What was my engagement? And why am I a vibrational match for that trigger? Right? Right? I went to a concert. I'll tell this super duper quick. I went to a concert on my birthday and, there was a moment where I, had been dancing literally right in front of the stage the entire time. And I was like, I need a soda water. I'm getting a little tired. And I stepped away for a few minutes and I went up to the bar. I got a soda water. It was free. I'm so grateful. And, was just standing there and like a very intoxicated person came up to me, had a few things to say. I like helped hopefully give a few different things he wasn't expecting me. And I just like gave him a little bit like, could die tomorrow. Enjoy your life today. And my friend, when I told her about this, she was so cute. She was just like, what did you do? Because I was like, yeah, this really drunk man came up to me and started, she's like, what did you do? And I was like, I just gave him some things to think about. That's all, And she said something that was super duper profound. And she goes like, this is awesome. Like you can really look at why you were still a vibrational match for that so that, energetically he won't be able to, like people like that won't be able to see you ever again. So it's once you heal that little thing, they literally can't see you. They literally can't see you at all, at all. There's one other parable that's popping into my mind that I want to share. A friend of mine, it was like right around or after COVID time, she would go for a walk at the res and she would get really frustrated over all the rubbish that was around. And there was a point where she I brought a bag with me and I picked up the rubbish and I was so frustrated. How could people be so rude and gross and blah, blah, blah. And then finally, she was like, that's not my responsibility. I take perfect care of my pocket of Mother Earth that I'm meant to take care of. And I do my best and I compost and I recycle and I garden and I do all of these things. That's not my responsibility to clean up other people's messes. Next day, she couldn't see the rubbish anymore. She never saw it again. Yeah, if you speak from I statements and you really heal the area of yourself that is, like frustrated, why are you not doing anything? Why are you not doing anything? No, just either do something about it, heal something within yourself, like start a community cleanup project if you really want to spearhead into that and create something of that, or take care of what you're responsible for. Surround yourself with people that are doing the exact same thing and just shoot for the moon So, okay, so we've talked about the sun and the moon and Chiron together and the north node and the south node. Does everyone understand that? Does everyone feel good about that? Kind of the biggest key players as to what's going on and to why, the out there is crumbling because we're doing such strong inner work within ourselves. It's kind of like we were all these seeds that have been in the dirt, that have been in the muck, that have been in the SHIT, that have been doing this little work, and then all of a sudden the seed cracks, and now we're a little sapling that's coming up. And we have to remember that it's not always easy or comfortable to grow. And when a seed cracks open, that's probably really scary and probably in its own sense a little bit painful. Think about that. So a key player as well, we have Mercury retrograde in Aries at 24 degrees right over here. And so in no way is that conjunct, but it's just in this house. And the Aries house is the, on the general wheel, the ascendant sign. It's the I am statement. So it's kind of on the positive side where like, I'm creating something. I am a leader within my own realm. But the negative side of it is like, you come from my belief systems. You just triggered me. I'm gonna rip you apart. Yeah, Mercury and Aries, we shoot between the eyes. Yeah, it's a very interesting placement. Yeah, Mercury is like our Hermes. It's how we communicate. So it's expect very blunt information. Expect emails, text, comments to all be misconstrued. All of it. All of it to be misunderstood. All of it for you to put your own lenses of the emotional space that you're in over that. So you might be receiving some perma-last emails and some, very passive-aggressive stuff. Also, you could be perceiving a perma-last email as something, because sometimes a perma-last email could just be like, they feel like they, in the first email, were a little bit too aggressive, and they could be like, oh my God, perma-last email, this is what I actually meant, and blah, 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 blah. So look at it from both sides and try to take as long as you need between action and reaction to respond. We don't want to react. We want to respond. And invoke your higher self, definitely. If you have to be out and about in the world, if you are, front-facing as leaders, we are all front-facing. So really, remind your inner child that, he or she is okie dokie. You've got this. Tell your inner teenager to sit the F down and shut the F up and know that you got this. And just say, higher self, speak through me. Speak through my voice. Give me the best information. That's what I do before every video. I ground us and I just say, please, higher self, take over. God, speak through me, speak through my voice, my vocal cords, make this the most accessible information so I can help as many people as I possibly can. That's my intention going into every single one of my videos. Every single one. Venus in Aries, I talked a little bit about that in the April 2024 introductory video, so definitely go check that out. It's like spicing it up in a good way. And so Venus is our yin planet, it's our divine feminine, it's how we really receive love and how we understand receiving love. And Venus in Aries, which is run by Mars, isn't always like the happiest, just like Mars doesn't really like being in Pisces because it's a negative mutable water sign, so it's a lot of passive aggressiveness over here. And in like 2 days we're gonna have Mars conjunct Saturn, so it's kind of without foundations or emotional intelligence or any sort of I statement language. It's a little unhinged. It's a little like, I can only see red in front of my eyes and I need to defend my ridiculous ideology even though I know that it's crumbling and breaking down, but it's all that I know. It's all that I know. It's like the he's not back type of a mentality. So just be gracious. People are in roaring pain. That's something that I did want to touch upon, is like the timeline split and understanding that as light workers, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, I don't even want to put all these labels because I could list all of the really positive things, because it's not left or right or, red or blue or this or that. It's not like a divide like that. It's Am I ready to help? Am I ready to go into a world where I wish the best for everyone? That's the highest, most authentic timeline. And so when it comes to timeline splits, that divide has become so big. I'm listening to my guides at the same time. I'm just going to channel for a minute. So the divide has become so big that, some people that have chosen what they knew was not their highest timeline are mad at themselves. They're really mad at themselves, and they're seeing what could have been when they see you. And they see you as an Everest. They see you as, I want what you have, but I don't know if I can do the work to get that peaceful. It's kind of like that phrase when it comes to, anger. It's like no one understands the violence that it took to become this peaceful. And when you have, the ability to be angry, as we all do, and you know how to wield that sword, that's powerful. That is so powerful. And then you see someone that's, screaming and, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening over here? And then they see you as peaceful and calm. They do not understand how much work it takes to be that calm and to be that sovereign and to say, it's so easy for me to choose violence. So easy. It'd be so easy for me to rip you apart over there. But that's not being peaceful. That's not being welcoming. Setting boundaries, definitely. If someone's physically coming for you, if someone's physically in front of you, and you have to set a boundary, absolutely. My goodness gracious. But expecting, what did I write? Vibe in public, you will trigger, do it anyways. Get excited, do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. So, because this is a timeline split and not a planetary split. It's not like, oh, you get a little dwarf planet over here and you get a little dwarf planet over here. We all got to play in the same sandbox. And I've given a visual before of, what do you mean by timeline splits? I'll give a very, very accessible one. I go to the grocery store a lot. I love going to the grocery store. It's like my social hour. It's so much fun. And I like fresh food and dried organic mangoes as well, which are not in any way fresh, but they're my favorite things. And, my chosen dopamine fix. Or literally, nothing else tastes like dopamine. And for me personally at this juncture. And again, I'm a little sugar baby, so it's like I'd rather be eating this than any sort of fake sugar. So I'm choosing wisely. The other day, months ago, I was checking out of the grocery store, and the person in front of me, there's this little hand scanner. She paid her bill with the palm of her hand. Yeah, they scanned her hand, and the handprint was connected to her credit card somehow, and she was able to pay. And then me standing with my paper money from waitressing, and I'm like, what? I was fascinated. I was so fascinated. It was when I first saw it, I was like, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. And definitely in my public playlist, my past life tales, go watch the Atlantis one, and it'll make a lot of sense. So I understand my irrational fears of that type of integration of technology in human form, which there's so many beautiful things of it. But for me, it's just that's not my final lifetime. That's not for me. And so I was able to look at it with fascination. Be like, wow, that's a whole other universe that woman lives in. There's a whole other world that I have absolutely no desire to be in, but we're in line at the same grocery store. We're going to the same place. Yeah. Even just use the grocery store as a complete parable for infinite timelines. Whereas I could go to the same grocery store that you do, have a very similar cart, but put in completely different things into my basket. Live in a completely different universe, a completely different world. So with that being said, and in my perfect world, which is, you're here at my table, so you're in Sarah's world, so welcome. We will listen to the vibration of ourself and think of it as everybody's got like background music, or like they have like theme music. Everybody's got a theme song. And when you're, walking down the aisles at the grocery store, you see someone that's do 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 do. If anyone can name that theme song, you're in my tribe. Anybody. And then like someone else over there in another area is like I don't know why. It's been down with the sickness for a little while. It's been a good one. And then someone else is playing classical music. And so you'll be able to tell vibrationally what, we really vibe. We don't vibe. We could probably have a conversation for a few minutes. We probably shouldn't talk at all over here. And just be respectful. Just be respectful. And let that be. That's okay to do. That's very much okay to do, to say, we can kind of cite irreconcilable differences before we even meet. Like, we don't even have to become friends. We don't even have to talk. We can just say, I'm on this side of Pangea, it has split. You're on this side of Pangea, it has split. Both are perfect. I'm not right or wrong. You're not right or wrong. We're just in different worlds. And that's okie dokie. It's totally okie dokie. Yeah, I really want you to look at triggers and someone that you're talking to as they're just playing a different type of music. I'm having a full body chill to that. They're just playing different music that you don't like. That's okay. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like what they say. You don't have to appreciate it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to be a part of that. They're just God having a human experience just as much as you are. I'm listening to my guides. So they're showing me my childhood and sitting around the kitchen table with my parents that ended up separating when I was in high school. Like my sisters, I'm the middle of three girls, and my oldest sister was in college and my youngest sister and I were in high school by the time that they actually separated. But they had had troubles since I was born. And so we knew that they really didn't like each other. We knew energetically, vibrationally, that there was trouble, that there were issues. But a lot of people, like, stay together for the kids. I would have rather two very healthy, thriving family units than one really toxic one. So I know that it is not ideal in the perfect world, but I'd rather us separate. I'd rather us all find ways to, you vibe over there and live your life. I wish you well. I wish you blessings. And I'll do the same over here. And you wish me well and you wish me blessings. But we don't have to interface because that's jarring for both of our human avatars. So let's just not. Let's just not. And, think of yourself, and I've given this image before in the Relationships Are Drastically Changing video, so definitely go check that out. It is in the public YouTube playlist of the toolbox. Think of yourself as the center of a mandala, and every person in your life is a petal, whether they be the closest ones to you or one that you only see once a quarter. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Take your negative ego out of it and invoke your positive ego to say, this is best for everyone involved. And so maybe it's okie dokie if, big groups split up and, big things happen. Right? So we've talked about Aries. I have an entire video on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is Uranus is at 21 degrees and Jupiter is at 19 degrees. I'm going to do an entire video. I'm hopefully going to get to recording it today, and it's just going to be like the my map, and I'm going to go over how every rising sign can kind of look at where that conjunction is. It's going to be happening at 21 degrees of Taurus. So look where that's falling in your chart. For myself and another subscriber and and I'm sure a whole bunch of other people in this world, our guides are not really showing us exactly what's going on. It's like radio silence for me. And it's just kind of like, I'd even done the first video, the part one of that, just to be like, can you help me work around my guides? Because they're not giving me information. And it's happening in my 7th house of relationship, conjunct almost by the minute to my natal Mars right over here. And it's, aspecting my natal moon. It's aspecting my midheaven, my IC, as well as my natal Venus. So new people coming in, new exciting galactic people coming in, maybe aliens popping up in my living room. I'd be so here for that. I love my alien team so much. I have 3 gray aliens. I have 3 Arcturian aliens. And, my divine guide, Jeffrey, he's tattooed here. And, he's here as well. It's Andromedan. I'm definitely part of that star system and different things like that. But we'll be getting tons of galactic help, but because of the laws of non-intervention and all those different things. But that's another alien story for another day. If you're interested in that, please comment below and timestamp it, because I can go heavily into the alien stuff, heavily into that. The last conjunction that I want to talk about, we have Pluto in Aquarius, we have Neptune in Pisces, Lilith over here in Virgo, and the Southland we've already talked about. So I've done a bunch of information. I have a Pluto in Aquarius part 1 as well as part 2, so I'm not going to repeat myself there. We did have the Pluto return in the United States. It was at 27 degrees of Capricorn, but as we know, solar returns are birthdays. When the sun is in the same point in the sky where we were born, that's a solar return. Pluto returns only happen to empires because they have such big transits. So the United States has been going through their Pluto return, and that's kind of why so much is happening within the United States. You could see it kind of like cracking and crumbling from the inside out, where it's like, can we just cite irreconcilable differences and everybody just move along with their lives? But it could be a few years before that actually comes to be. But Saturn and Mars in Pisces are very heavy hitting planets, and it's conjunct off by a degree. Mars is at 13 degrees of Pisces and Saturn is at 14 degrees of Pisces. I want to say on the 10th of April is when they conjunct by degree, but that just says to me we are all Pisces. We'll look at it as a lens, soul purpose, healing, closures, and coming home. Mutable negative water energy. So we can be, the positive side of Saturn and Pisces transits, just a lens by itself. A positive side is a historical thing that that has happened, is that AA was started in a Saturn and Pisces transit. So Saturn is our interdisciplinarian. Pisces is mutable negative water energy. Pisces are the baby ancients. They can see and are very emotional, very empathetic people. But the negative side of this, Saturn and Pisces, can be very rigid, very, very rigid. These are my belief systems. You come for that, I'll poke your eye out. I'll poke your eye out. Mars is our assertive planet. It's our divine masculine, how we are aggressive in this world. And like I said before, Mars does not like to be in Pisces. It wants to be in Aries. It's like it wants to be in a fire sign or more of a positive sign. It wants to be in something that it can actually get things done. So Mars and Pisces can be lying, deceit, illusion, disillusion. It can be seeing things and knowing things and being like, I'm just not going to listen to that. Yeah. Oh my God, I had a dream about my, dead cousin, aunt, and sister, whomever, and they told me that I should probably do this and that and the other thing, but that obviously didn't mean anything. I'm just going to go out and just go to the drive-thru and just do the same things over and over and over again. It's like, you have divine information coming to you in your dream space, my friend. Maybe listen. Maybe it's just an offering. It's just a thought. Yeah. And I feel YouTube, Patreon group, dreams, it's the perfect step into the quantum verse. It's the perfect step into multidimensionality. What do you mean by YouTube? It's just you and I having coffee, transcending time and space. But when are you? And where are you? Yeah. It's March 26th. And an East Coast island for me. But it's just you and me having coffee. And dreams, it's like you lay your human avatar down, pretend to sleep, and somehow it just shuts off, and you go into a complete astral quantum space where anything can happen, and you wake up somehow and you're like, no, that's normal. That's normal. Yeah. my guy. Yeah, you know way more about the woo-woo than you think that you do. Neptune's been in Pisces for a long time. That's a lot to do with the tears, the water energy, so much to the flooding and all those different things that are going on. So that's kind of because it's such an outer planet, that's a generational planet. And so that has like bigger things to do. But, not really a key player in this, but still, a theme, a lens. It's kind of like like a sepia tone or something like that. But yeah, Saturn and Mars in the mix, rigidity. It's spark plug energy. It is. And so I'm going to put this in my Patreon group as early as I possibly can. I'll probably post it on Easter Sunday. And if you're watching this on the day of the eclipse, if you're watching this on the day of the eclipse, know that you're safe and loved. Know that there's an entire community of people in this group that is supporting you across time and space, that is also, experiencing things probably very similar to you, and is confused and is trying their best every single day, and that's rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. I'm proud of you and I'm grateful for you. And I'm really honored that you're here at the table with me. I'm really proud of you. This is not easy stuff. For my, introductory videos to the energies, the months, the seasons, whatever it may be, if you're new here, I pack about 6 months worth of work into each of these. And, in my one-on-one sections, I feel very comfortable and confident to be able to kind of give information that shoots between the eyes and to help you, your corporation, your small business, your family unit, whatever it may be, get to the root of the matter and really be efficient in processes. And so if you're interested in my Corporate Court Jester Program, please send me an email. My email address is always listed below. Please, I will go and, fly out to you, to your company, help look at the birth chart of the company, of yours. Is your company listening to you? What's going on? How are the communication planets going? What's going on here? And see kind of how the transiting planets are affecting you. So that's an offering. I had a whole video on my services in 2024, but because I changed some prices, I had to take that video down. But if you're interested in my Corporate Court Jester Program, I come from corporate, I understand that language, I understand that mentality, and it is not easy to navigate in any capacity when you're waking up and you're recognizing that maybe what I'm in right now, you need some help unwinding some of the spells that you've spoken. So just please reach out directly and we can set up a one-on-one phone call, FaceTime phone call, to kind of make sure that am I the right channel for you? Am I the right healer for you? But yeah, it's very much I love the Corporate Court Jester. I'm the fool of a person, because really there's very few people that when you're the CEO, the CFO, the entrepreneur, the one who's holding all the chips together, there's only a few people that can actually shoot between the eyes and are able to say that to you. But because sometimes, my leaders, you only have an hour, we got to just get to the root of the matter. And we can also set up one-on-one sessions with some of the people within your business and the corporation. So just know that offering is available for you. But please, there's so many moving parts to that. So reach out directly and we can set up a call. Yeah, this is big. This is big stuff. And I don't even know what I'm going to call it, but yeah, this will pass. Stay close. Be in it. Be in what you're in. And observe it in a very, I want you to feel sorry, I'm moving your chair around. I want you to feel you're the historian, writing your own history right now. And you're living it in real time. You're watching it in real time. You're experiencing it in real time. Please document it too. After every single one of my videos, I highly recommend you do some journaling, see what came up for you. Like I say in the description, my voice and just looking into my big old eyes are meant to unlock codes and understandings within you. And so you might have some dreams tonight, drink tons of water. Know that you're safe in what you're in. Yeah, even if you think it's scary. If you're scared right now, if you're, I'm going to speak to some people directly that might be in it and that are afraid of, what's happening all over the planet right now. I want you to know that we can't understand things from above. We can't understand it because we're in it. It's like when you lose a family member, when someone passes away, and or if there's war or, fighting, and lots of people have, left this planet. And a lot of people are choosing to leave the planet to do work on the other side. I have a bunch of videos on death being different nowadays, and whatever your view of that is. For some people, if you're new to my channel, it could sound a little disassociated, but I'm speaking from the most empathetic lens that I could possibly offer you. I also became a minister back in 2022, the beginning of 2021, 2022, to help people transition from this life to the next, things like that, and to help people make sense of that and, do mediumship to help the soul to the other side, stuff like that. But for mass exits and for war and for fighting, it's feel it. Feel it. Feel your emotions. Feel your pain. Feel your rage, with yourself, and not taking it out on other people. Or we have to be very cognizant of what we are putting on our social medias and the words that we're using. And, when we get triggered, we can't just type away, but feel it. Feel it deeply. This is some of the most potent and important times in our current human history right now. You're writing history with your thoughts, your words, your actions, your intentions, your community. And you'll look back on this time. You really will, and say, yeah, 2020, 2024, 2019, 2027, this is what I did. This is how I acted. This is what I understood. This is how I helped. The tarot, I almost forgot. So this card represents 11 to 20 degrees of Aries. And so the eclipse is at 19 degrees of Aries. So this is the tarot card that represents that decan of the astrological field. Why did I say field? Grid. Wheel. Jeez. And so he's a leader, sending his ships out, letting the ships come in. This could be travel. This could be so many different components to it. Wand energy, fire energy. But really, spend some time, I'd say, maybe stargazing or going to the ocean or candle gazing. Yeah. Remind yourself how powerful you are. And just like the egg theory, everyone on this planet is connected to you, and you are connected to everyone on this planet. So you being courageous creates an energy bubble that everyone else around you can be courageous too. It's the Aries card. Yeah. BDE. Also a number 4, so like new structures. This is you. I want you to invoke this. Not make a puppet time or a Santa Claus in the sky type of a person to say, no, I'll listen to you. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. I want you to vibe like him. And make it a benevolent king, We talked about this for the full moon eclipse in Libra. This is, 0 to 10 degrees of Aries. So we already talked about this card, but 21 to 30 degrees of Aries is a celebration. It's not in the structure behind them that they celebrate. It's not in the old safe house, but it's out in the world under these four little wands, this banister. They're having a big celebration, Same ensemble, the red to the red Aries. So know that this will pass. This moment, This beautiful, painful experience will pass. That pimple will pop. The truth will be revealed. And all will get to celebrate. I think that's it. I think that's it. My guys are saying one more thing. Water, clean water, have a way to filter your water or have tons of water available filtered in the house. Water, water, water. No tap water. Not at this table, absolutely not. And that's just a me thing, but you know, you can get filters for your water, you can get filters for your tap, you can do whatever it is. And I'm glad that they're mentioning that, because I usually have big buckets of water delivered, but I'm going to be buying a life straw. I think that's what they're called, a life straw, the one you can just like drink and it filters it anyway. So I'll go back and listen to this and watch it, and Sarah, buy it, buy it. Anything to prevent fear. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Have the food in the house. Nothing happens. You get to eat some cans of good soup later on. So the Boy Scouts, always be prepared. Just always be prepared. All right, I'm going to end this with gratitude and so much love in my heart. I'm here for you. Please comment below what you're going through, how I can best support you. And if you're ever in need, just send me an email and we'll find the best offering for you, and we'll connect directly. But it's my pleasure to be here. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely go check out the Patreon group. It is one of my favorite offerings that I have. It's a very accessible price point, and I offer a 7-day free trial. So if it's, try it for 7 days for free. See what you think. It's a beautiful group over there. Very, very different people from all over the place, but we all come together to receive the energies that we need. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Ciao, darlings. I'll see you soon. See you on the other side.